I never imagined my brother-in-law, Jason, would steal my passports, embezzle my parents' estate, and manipulate everyone around me. The betrayal came to a head at my daughter's birthday chaos, tears, and police intervention. This is my story of identity theft, family betrayal, and how I finally reclaimed my life. I'll never forget the sound of the police fist-pounding on my apartment door at 11:47 p.m. on a late evening in June 2021. My daughter was asleep in the next room, and I was halfway through reheating leftover spicy curry when the bang started. By the time I opened the door, 3 officers shoved past me, holding a warrant with my name on it. They said my passport had been used in an illegal border crossing tied to drug trafficking. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I was going to throw up right there on the carpet that still smelled faintly of fresh laundry from earlier. I had never left the country. Not then. Not in years. But the passport they showed me here was mine. My photo, my birth date, my information. That was the night I realised my brother-in-law, Jason, had betrayed me in a way I still struggled to put into words. If you had asked me years ago, I would have said Jason was my brother. Not in-law. Not my wife's brother. Just my brother. When I married Anna in 2015, Jason was already a fixture of family dinners. He had this charisma that made people laugh, the kind of guy who could talk his way out of a speeding ticket or into a VIP club. My dad, George, always said that boy's either going to be a millionaire or in prison. At first, I thought Jason was just misunderstood. He drifted between jobs, bragged about big opportunities, and always seemed to have wads of cash even though no one knew where it came from. But he was kind to Anna, and when we moved into our first apartment, he helped us carry in the shoebox of old letters my mom had written me before she died. That detail stuck with me. I thought, who would steal from someone they've seen cry over a box of letters? I didn't know yet. The first red flag came on moving day, August 12, 2018. We were relocating to a small rental house on 14th Street. The air was sticky, and the smell of sweat and cardboard filled every room. Jason offered to help, and I thought it was generous until I realised my passport binder was missing from the desk drawer. "Hey, man," I asked casually, "you didn't see a black leather folder when you were moving the boxes, did you?" Jason laughed. "Nope, why, are you planning a vacation?" Something about the way he smirked made me uneasy, but I brushed it off. Maybe I misplaced it in the chaos. That night, while Anna unpacked dishes, I tore apart every box. I found old college essays, receipts, even the $450 car payment stubs I'd been keeping, but no passport. "Jerry," Anna said gently, "you're stressing yourself out. It'll turn up." And I wanted to believe her. It wasn't the first time Jason left me unsettled. During my college years, he would drop by my dorm uninvited, asking to crash because he was between places. Once, he even borrowed my laptop to apply for jobs, and I didn't get it back for weeks. When I confronted him, he grinned and said, "Man, you're paranoid. You probably loaned it to someone else and forgot." That phrase, "you're paranoid," would haunt me later. The gaslighting worked. I started questioning my own memories. Did I really put the passport in the drawer? Did I actually lose it on my own? Then came the investigation. Weeks after moving, I got a letter from Homeland Security. They wanted me in for questioning. They said my passport had been scanned at an airport in South America. I thought it had to be a mistake, maybe an identity mix-up. But when the agent laid out a folder with copies of my passport stamped in Colombia, Peru, and Mexico, my world cracked open. My heart pounded so hard I could hear blood rushing in my ears. "How is this possible?" I whispered. The agent's eyes narrowed. "That's what we need you to tell us." I stumbled home that night, replaying every detail. Anna tried to comfort me, but my mind was racing. Jason had been in and out of our house on moving day. He had brushed off my missing passport. The puzzle pieces were falling into place, and they painted a picture of betrayal I wasn't ready to face. Because if Jason had my passport, if he was using my name, then it wasn't just about stolen document. It was about stolen life. And I had no idea yet how far he'd go to take everything from me. I wish I could say I went to the police right away, that I trusted my gut and cut Jason out of my life the moment I connected the dots. But that's the thing about betrayal from someone you love, it doesn't show up all at once. It's slow, like water dripping into a crack until the foundation splits. After the first Homeland Security meeting, I started noticing small things. Jason would drop by our house late at night, claiming he was just in the neighbourhood. He always managed to be around when important mail came, bank statements, insurance renewals, even my daughter's birth certificate envelope. One night, I caught him standing in the hallway staring at the shoebox of old letters my mom had written me before she passed. "What are you doing?" I asked. He jerked, then smiled. "Just man, your mom had nice handwriting." I felt cold all over. Who stares at someone's dead mother's letters at midnight? The problem was, Jason had woven himself into every corner of our lives. Anna defended him constantly. "He's my brother, Jerry. He's had it rough. He doesn't mean harm." But I started keeping mental tallies. September 2018, my debit card went missing for 2 days. Jason showed up with groceries, saying he'd covered us. November 2018, he convinced Anna to let him borrow our SUV. When it came back, the odometer showed an extra 600 miles. December 2018, I noticed him slip something into his jacket pocket while standing near my desk. Each time, when I confronted him, he'd twist it. "Relax, man, you're imagining things. You've always been forgetful. You probably lost that card yourself. You don't trust me, after everything I've done for you?" The gaslighting sank deep. I'd lie awake at night, stomach clenched, asking myself if maybe I was forgetful. Maybe I was paranoid. During my college years, I had a professor who once told me, the scariest lies are the ones that make you doubt the truth you already know. That echoed in my head every time Jason smirked at me. I even brought it up to my dad, George, one evening over beers. We were sitting on the porch, the late autumn air sharp against our faces. "Dad," I said, Voice low. I think Jason's, I don't know, doing something with my ID. Stuff keeps going missing. George frowned. Son, I've seen the way that boy looks at opportunity. He'll cut corners, sure, but steal from family? No, don't let suspicion eat you alive. His words stung, not because he didn't believe me, but because I wanted to believe him. The cracks widened in early 2019. I got a call from my bank about suspicious wire transfers under my name. Thousands of dollars moving through accounts I'd never opened. I felt my knees buckle in the office break room when I heard the number $47,500. I tried to explain it to Anna, my voice shaking. It has to be Jason. Who else has my information? She snapped. You're obsessed. You blame him for everything. Maybe you messed up. Maybe someone online hacked you. Stop accusing my brother. That fight ended with me sleeping on the couch, staring at the ceiling, heart pounding. My best friend, Marcus, noticed the change in me before anyone else. One night, he dragged me out for drinks. You look like Culture, he said, sliding me a beer. You're jumpy. What's going on? I unloaded everything missing: passport, the wire transfers, Jason's midnight visits. Marcus leaned back, eyes narrowing. Man, that's not just shady, that's dangerous. You need to document everything. Every date, every dollar, every weird like paper trail. You can't fight shadows. That advice saved me later. The community started whispering too. After the bank froze one of my accounts, word got around. A coworker joked in the break room. Careful, don't give Jerry your SSN. Everyone laughed, but I felt the sting. People treated me differently after that. Meetings felt colder. My boss asked, is everything stable at home? My reputation was slipping, and I hadn't even done anything wrong. Final straw came one late evening in March 2019. I walked into the living room and saw Jason crouched near the bookshelf. His phone angled oddly. When I stepped closer, I realized he was adjusting a small black device. What the hell is that? I demanded. Jason froze, then smirked. Chill, just a Wi-Fi booster. But when I leaned in, my stomach dropped. It wasn't a booster. It was a camera. I yanked it from the wall, heart hammering. Are you spying on us? He held up his hands, laughing. Man, you're crazy. It's nothing. You've been under stress. You need help. That was the night my panic attack started. Because deep down, I knew Jason wasn't just stealing papers or money anymore. He was stealing me. I should have known something was terribly wrong when my therapist, Dr. Lang, started taking notes that didn't make sense. I'd been seeing her since late 2019 for panic attacks and night terrors. Jason's hidden camera had left me shaking for hours. She seemed supportive at first, listening as I explained my sleepless nights, the cold sweats, the trust issues that left me flinching when Anna or Marcus touched me. But slowly, subtle things shifted. You're overreacting, Jerry, she'd say, voice calm, almost too calm. Maybe you misplaced the evidence. Memories can be unreliable. Gaslighting. And now, coming from my own therapist. The real break came when Marcus showed up at my apartment with a laptop and a USB drive in his hand. I've been digging, he said, pacing. Jason's not just borrowing your ID, he's laundering money through your name, using your parents' estate, your family trust, millions, he's siphoning it. I dropped the shoebox of old letters I'd been clutching like a talisman. My hands shook so violently I spilled spicy curry onto the carpet. My mind refused to compute. W what? I whispered. Marcus opened the laptop. Bank statements, wire transfers, shell companies all under my name but linked to Jason. And worse, some more tied to accounts in foreign countries. My parents' estate, meant to secure my future, had been hollowed out. I sat there, mouth dry, staring at the screen. Why would he do this? I trusted him. Marcus didn't answer. He just shook his head. The betrayal didn't stop there. When I confronted Dr. Lang with the evidence, I found out she had been reporting details of our sessions back to Jason. She claimed it was for insurance purposes and family consent, but in reality, she had been feeding him my every anxiety, every fear, every suspicion. I felt my chest tighten so badly that I could barely breathe. Panic attacks came in waves, each one worse than the last. Nightmares clawed at me every evening. I dreamt Jason standing over me, grinning, holding my $450 car payment receipts, my old letters, even the passport in his hand like a trophy. Socially, the fallout was immediate. Word about the bank investigation spread. Co-workers whispered behind my back. Did you hear Jerry's accounts got frozen? Something shady with his family money. Lunches became silent, small talk awkward. Even strangers gave me sidelong glances, sensing tension I couldn't explain. I began withdrawing. Anna was distant, wrapped up in her own shock, unsure who to believe. Marcus became my only anchor, helping me track the financial evidence and documenting every encounter with Jason. He'd come over late evenings, sharing takeout and sitting with me while I tried to piece together the truth. The smell of fresh laundry from my apartment, faint but almost comforting. Then came the revelation that broke me completely. While sifting through my parents' financial files, one night, I found emails Jason had sent before they died, contracts and adoption papers. My heart sank. Jason hadn't just married into the family. He had adopted me, legally changed my last name years ago, not out of love, but to exploit legal loopholes for money laundering. Every moment I thought we had shared as family had been a calculated move. I called Anna, voice shaking. He adopted me for money, everything, our family, our memories, it was all a setup. Her sobs over the phone mirrored my own. I can't believe it. I thought he was our family too. By April 2020, I had compiled every piece of evidence, bank statements, emails, hidden camera footage, and Dr. Lang's reports. I went to the authorities, but it felt like a betrayal all over again. Jason had already started building an alibi, claiming I was mentally unstable, fabricating stories. My reputation teetered on the edge, and I could see the public shame reflected in every glance from neighbours and co-workers. I slept in short bursts, nightmares painting Jason grinning over my passport and letters. Panic attacks hitting grocery stores, while driving, even when just standing in line at the pharmacy. My therapist had become a weapon against me. Trust had been shredded at every level. But there was one glimmer, Marcus. He never wavered, never doubted me. He helped me file legal documents, hid evidence from Jason, and reminded me that I wasn't crazy. He was the lifeline keeping me tethered to reality while the world spun into chaos. I realized the betrayal wasn't just Jason's. It was systemic. Friends, therapists, and even some family members complicit or too blind to see it. My life had been hollowed out financially, emotionally, socially, but at least I had one constant. I finally understood that facing Jason wasn't enough. I needed to reclaim every piece of myself he'd stolen, my memories, my dignity, my safety. And I knew, when the right moment came, I would confront him publicly. The next stage was looming. The explosive, unavoidable climax that would bring every thread together: the birthday party, the chaos, the police. Because Jason had no idea what was coming. Do you want me to continue with part 4, confrontation plus explosive climax, 700 words, where Jerry exposes Jason at his child's birthday party and everything erupts? It was Saturday, August 15, 2020, my daughter's 5th birthday. The backyard was decorated with pastel balloons, a rainbow cake in the center, and the smell of spicy curry from takeout warming on the patio table. Normally, I'd be focused on her laughing, blowing out candles, but all I could think about was Jason. He had no idea what I knew. I had spent weeks preparing. Copies of financial records, emails, and the hidden camera footage were tucked into my backpack. Marcus stayed close, acting as my silent anchor. Anna noticed my nervous pacing. "Jerry, are you sure about this?" she asked, voice trembling. "I have to," I whispered. "It's the only way to protect us." Guests started arriving. Laughter echoed across the lawn. My daughter ran past me with a glitter-covered party hat slipping sideways on her head. I hugged her tightly, smelling her shampoo, and felt the stab of guilt. I was about to turn her birthday into a war zone. Jason arrived last, wearing that smug grin that had haunted me for years. He had no idea the storm was coming. I waited until the cake cutting. People gathered around. Cameras flash. I took a deep breath, clutching the shoebox of old letters like a shield. "Everyone," I said, voice shaking but loud enough to carry, "I need to show you something you should all know about Jason." The air went still. Jason froze. The smile faltered. I pulled out my laptop and plugged it into a small portable monitor. Marcus hit play. On the screen, Jason on hidden cameras in our home, siphoning money, signing documents, and smiling as if he'd won some secret game. Bank transfers, falsified contracts, even the adoption paperwork showing he'd manipulated the legal system to launder money through me. The asps erupted. Whispers ran like wildfire. My co-workers, some of whom had come as family friends, looked horrified. "Jerry," Jason stammered, trying to grab the laptop. "Stop, this is false." "False? These are your emails, your signatures, your crimes," I yelled. My hands shook so violently I almost dropped the laptop. The chaos was immediate. Anna shouted at him, tears streaming. "How could you? My husband, my family?" Police sirens wailed in the distance. Marcus had cold head after I sent him the last batch of evidence. 2 officers arrived just in time to stop Jason from fleeing. "I didn't mean it," Jason sputtered as they handcuffed him. Guests crowded around, some filming, others in shock. My daughter clung to Anna, crying because she didn't understand why her birthday had exploded into drama. His shocking revelation about why he had adopted me, that it was for money laundering, hit hard. It made me sick to my stomach. All the trust I had placed in him, every joke, every shared meal, every midnight conversation, had been part of a calculated manipulation. I felt my heart shatter again as I realized how completely he had violated our family. After Jason was taken away, I sank to the grass, pulling my daughter onto my lap. The smell of fresh laundry from her party dress mingled with the sticky sweetness of frosting and tears. I held her tight, feeling panic attacks starting to bubble up. My chest tightened. My mind raced to flashbacks of the hidden cameras, the financial betrayals, Dr. Lang's complicity. Anna sat next to me, silently crying. Marcus handed me a bottle of water. "You did it, Jerry," he said softly. "You exposed him. You're safe now." I nodded, but the aftermath hit me immediately. Gossip spread like wildfire. Our neighbors whispered about what had happened. Coworkers avoided me for weeks, unsure how much of the story was true. Public shame, social isolation, everything I had feared came crashing down. Even with Jason gone, the trauma lingered. Nightmares returned, panic attacks flared, and I questioned my own memories constantly. I wondered if I'd ever trust anyone again. And yet, in that chaos, a seed of relief emerged. I had faced the betrayal head-on. I had taken action. I had finally revealed the truth, not just to the authorities, but to everyone who had been manipulated or deceived. It was ugly. It was painful. But it was necessary. Because for the first time in years, I felt a flicker of control. And that flicker would grow. After the birthday chaos, life didn't get easier. If anything, it got worse. Jason was gone, in custody, but the ripples of his betrayal crashed through every corner of my world. I was barely functioning. Nightmares came nightly, dragging me back to hidden cameras, stolen money, and the betrayal I'd endured. I'd wake in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, heart hammering, feeling like I was suffocating. I started therapy again, but cautiously this time. After discovering Dr. Lang had been feeding information back to Jason, I had to switch therapists entirely. The new therapist, Dr. Patel, specialized in trauma and PTSD. During sessions, I would lay out every incident, hidden cameras, stolen money, forged documents, Dr. Lang's betrayal. My hands shook constantly, and I sometimes couldn't get the words out without breaking down. "You're experiencing complex PTSD, Jerry," Dr. Patel said one evening, voice calm but firm. Your brain has been rewired by repeated betrayals. We need to retrain it to recognize safety and trust again. I nodded numbly. It felt impossible. Socially, things were equally grim. Word had spread about Jason's schemes, and people assumed I had been complicit in some way. Coworkers whispered behind my back. Some avoided me entirely, unwilling to be associated with the family drama guy. I even overheard one colleague say, "I mean, how could Jerry not see it?" My reputation was shattered. I stopped attending casual gatherings. Friends faded away. They tried to support me, but the stress strained our relationship. Every conversation seemed to tiptoe around Jason's betrayal. My trust had been shredded so thoroughly that even her words felt like potential manipulation. Financial fallout was another nightmare. Jason had embezzled millions from my deceased parents' estate. I had lost almost everything. $450 car payment we'd been budgeting for became an unbearable reminder of what we no longer had. A small apartment suddenly felt suffocating, filled with boxes we couldn't afford to replace. I started having panic attacks in the most mundane places, the grocery store, the gas station, even driving past the old family home. Flashbacks hit without warning: Jason's smirk, the hidden camera, Dr. Lang's notes. Every sensation triggered a memory: the spicy curry on moving day, the smell of fresh laundry that used to be comforting, the shoebox of letters now tainted by his betrayal. Even my sleep was fractured. I'd wake at 3 a.m., drenched in sweat, convinced someone was watching me. I tried grounding techniques Dr. Patel suggested, counting ceiling tiles, focusing on the feel of the carpet under my feet, but sometimes it wasn't enough. Some nights I just sat on the couch, staring at the door, unable to convince my body it was safe. Marcus became my lifeline. He helped me sort through legal paperwork, documenting everything for the ongoing investigations, and reminded me that I wasn't alone. "You survived this, Jerry. That's huge," he said once, as we went over bank records and emails late one evening. "You're going to rebuild, piece by piece." I wanted to believe him. I needed to. The rock bottom moments were stark. I remember one late evening in November 2020. I had been at work all day, then stopped at the supermarket to pick up ingredients for dinner. The fluorescent lights felt like interrogation lamps. A stranger bumped into me in the aisle, muttering, "Crazy family drama, huh?" My chest tightened. Panic clawed at me. I dropped the shoebox of letters I had brought to read for comfort. Papers scattered across the linoleum. I sank to my knees, shaking uncontrollably, sobbing. A nearby cashier asked if I was okay. I lied. Just tired. But inside, everything felt shattered. My sense of safety, my sense of self, my sense of family all gone. I didn't know how to function. And yet, in the darkness, small sparks of resilience appeared. Therapy taught me coping techniques. Journaling my experiences helped me reclaim memory ownership, and Marcus's unwavering support reminded me that trust could exist outside betrayal. I began taking tiny steps towards stability, paying bills on time, organizing files, reconnecting with distant friends cautiously. It was a slow crawl, but even at my lowest, I could sense the potential for recovery. Because if I could survive Jason's calculated, systemic betrayal and the shattering of my parents' estate, I could survive anything. Recovery didn't happen overnight. It was a process of small victories, countless therapy sessions, and learning to trust myself again. After months of intense work with Dr. Patel, I began understanding how Jason's betrayals had rewired my brain. I wasn't broken, I was trained to survive manipulation, and now I had the tools to reclaim control. I started with simple routines. Every morning, I made my bed, folded the fresh laundry, and took a moment to breathe. It was grounding. I journaled extensively, cataloguing memories from childhood, moving day, college years, and the aftermath of Jason's exposure. Writing helped me separate reality from the gaslighting, rebuild trust in my own perceptions, and reclaim pieces of myself Jason had tried to erase. I also addressed the financial devastation. I met with a financial advisor to rebuild from scratch, tackling debts and reclaiming whatever assets could be recovered from my parents' estate. Every $450 car payment became a symbol of responsibility rather than loss. Slowly, I regained independence. Marcus stayed by my side, helping me navigate the legal maze and cheering on each small milestone. Socially, I approached life cautiously but deliberately. I reconnected with trusted friends and built boundaries that kept toxic people, like Dr. Lang, far away. I learned to accept that some people from my past coworkers, neighbours would never fully trust me again, and that was okay. My focus shifted to creating a circle of loyalty and honesty. One of the most pivotal moments was learning to trust emotionally. I started dating again, tentatively at first. I met Claire, a gentle, patient woman who understood trauma and never pushed me faster than I was ready. I told her my story in full: the hidden cameras, stolen inheritance, panic attacks, betrayals, and therapy. Instead of judgment or doubt, she offered empathy. She didn't try to fix me, she walked alongside me. Slowly, over months, I allowed myself to open up completely. For the first time in years, I felt safety in someone else's presence. Nightmares and panic attacks still came occasionally, but I learned to manage them. Techniques from therapy, deep breathing, grounding objects, and mindfulness helped me stay present. I even began volunteering with a local support group for victims of identity theft and family betrayal. Sharing my story gave me a sense of purpose, and helping others reclaim trust helped me reclaim my own. Legally, Jason was convicted of multiple counts: identity theft, embezzlement, and fraud. The courts finally acknowledged the extensive scope of his manipulation, including the shocking revelation that he had adopted me for money laundering. Seeing justice served finally felt surreal, but empowering. By 2023, I was in a stable apartment, financially responsible, and emotionally stronger. I had a supportive partner in Claire, loyal friends like Marcus, and a relationship with Anna that, while complicated, was healing. The trauma hadn't vanished, but it no longer defined me. I could recognize manipulation, set boundaries, and trust again. The moment that truly marked my recovery was a quiet Sunday morning. I was drinking coffee, looking at the shoebox of old letters. Each letter was a memory, a piece of my history, and now I could read them without fear or anger. I smiled, remembering the love behind each word rather than Jason's betrayal. Claire joined me, her hand warm in mine. My daughter ran past laughing. For the first time in years, I felt hope.